Hello beautiful people, it's Steph here if you don't already know, and on this channel I just talk about all things careers and all things lifestyle. And in today's video I'm going to be doing a little type of chit chat, get ready with me. It's not really a get ready with me though, it's just me chit chatting, I ain't even gonna lie to you. But in my previous video, if you've already watched it, you would have seen me speaking about my 2023 goals and how I go about setting them and how I reviewed my 2022 goals and stuff like that. And one of the things I had for myself was kind of being happier, practicing mindfulness and stuff like that. And one of the things I did to achieve that was get myself an achievements jar. I say get myself, I didn't actually get it for myself. One of my friends actually gifted it to me, but I asked for it as a gift and they gifted it to me. But anyway, that was one of the things I did for myself over the course of 2022. So in today's video, I'm gonna open up my 2022 achievement jar and talk through some of my achievements. So if you like this type of content, please do make sure that you like, comment and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Okay, so first things first, this is my achievement jar and I will put the link in the bio. I think this is just from Amazon. It came with this came with one jar, and then there was another jar that I asked for as well, but that was separate, that was for something else. But anyway, this is my achievement jar, and it also came with like little post-it notes, which I don't have with me at the moment. And then you can just use like a pen to write on the post-it notes and pop them in the jar. So like I said, link for that will be down below if you'd like to get yourself one for 2023. But let's go straight into it. One thing I want to say is that I'm really happy. So the goal for this was that I was actually supposed to put in an achievement every day. When I first got the jar, so back in January, I actually did tell her, like, I don't think I put in an achievement every day, I'm not gonna lie to you, but at least like every other day I was putting in something that I was happy about, and that was really good. But then as the year went by, you know, I got a bit tired, and it more kind of went to like when big things happened, then I would put it into my achievement jar. But either way, I'm still really proud of myself because the main focus of this was making sure that I would celebrate every single win, and I feel like I did that partially with this. So let's get straight into it. Let's pick an achievement. Okay, achievement number 1, Sunday 20th March 2022, went on a walk with Adama. Been going consistently for 10 weeks. Wow, go me. Okay, yes, so one of my goals, again, this was for self-care, but one of my goals of the year was to kind of, like I said, practice mindfulness, be happy. And for me, one of the things I do when I'm in like a sad space is I don't leave the house. So I set myself a goal to go for a 30-minute walk every week. And I did kind of do it by myself in the beginning, but then I realized that actually I like to do these walks with someone. So I told, she's literally one of my closest friends, like I told Adama about it, and we live quite close to each other. So she was like, okay, we're gonna go for a walk every week. And she was amazing at holding me accountable. So I was just really happy that I had managed to do it for 10 weeks running. So that was an achievement that I am super, super happy about. Next achievement. Wednesday 23rd March 2022. I feel like I need to shake up this jar a bit so that we're not only looking at March. But anyway, Wednesday 23rd March 2022, reached 800 subscribers on YouTube. Go me. Yes. So my YouTube channel, obviously you guys are watching it if you're here today. It's something that I just love to share and give information back to people, and also just like share about my life and stuff like that as well, like I'm doing with this video. So I was really happy that 800 people were rocking with my content basically. I think now I'm on like 1.2k or something like that, but still really happy with that. Okay, so my next one is from February. So we've got Wednesday the 2nd of February 2022. I reached 2,000 followers on Instagram today. Oh my gosh, yes, I actually remember this. So over the course of January, I think it was, I did this whole like reel series where I was breaking down literally every part of the application process for lawyers. So, you know, how you can actually get like really well on your interviews, how you can understand commercial awareness, how you can write a good application, how you can write a good cover letter, etc, etc. And that really like did really well. Basically it helped loads of people. I had loads of people comment on it and say how helpful it was, but it also increased my following, so that was nice as well. Next one, we've got Wednesday the 5th of January 2022. So Ore replied to my first newsletter of the year. Makes me so happy that people find my content useful. This was actually the sweetest thing. Like I actually remember it. I had sent out a newsletter, and one of my kind of goals in terms of like business was to be a bit more disciplined and like consistent with how many times I send out my newsletters. So I sent out a newsletter and someone actually replied to it and was just like, yeah, they find it really helpful, I should keep doing it, thanks for sending it out, blah blah blah. And I was so shocked but like so happy at the same time. So I wrote that down. That was really cute. Do a couple more. Okay, Saturday, 14th of May, 2022, I finished designing my affirmation cards. Oh my gosh, guys, if you're a real one, you'll know about my affirmation cards, right? So this was two things. One of my goals, again, in terms of like my spirituality and also in terms of my self-care, was yes, about making myself happy, but also about getting closer to God, right? Having more one-on-one time with God. And I really kind of sat down and prayed, and I just kind of asked God, you know, what can I do to help myself in terms of my imposter syndrome? Because that's what the affirmation cards were for. But also, how can I use this to help others? And the whole thing just like came to me in terms of the prayer points at the back, and like how these affirmations can really help you move forward in your career or in your schooling or whatever. So I was really, really happy when I finished the design for that and like prayed over it and everything. And that was just a really special day for me, because I just felt like I had achieved something on my next kind of stage in terms of my walk with God as well. So that was really, really cool. This one is from Monday, the 21st of February, 2022. I reached 700 subscribers on YouTube today. Yay! So I think this was actually like, I was doing this whole road to 1,000 subscribers thing. So anytime I reached another 100 milestone, I was really, really happy about it. So there might be a couple of those in here. So if I see any more, I will skip over those ones. Let's see. Sunday, the 1st of January 2022. Can I just first say, I really love when a year starts on Sunday. Like, it's just giving spiritual alignment. Absolutely love that. But anyway, what happened on that day that I was happy about? Warwick Inspire asked me to be a guest speaker at their Empower conference. Yes, and I did actually end up doing this. I think I ended up doing it virtually, if I remember correctly. But no, I was just really happy because before the year had ended, so I'd obviously set my 2022 goals, and I'd kind of wanted to get more like speaking engagements and stuff like that for Success with Steph, just so that I could reach more people and help them. And then literally on the first day of the year, someone asked me to do something. Do you get what I mean? Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, God, you're really showing up and showing out for me, and I love that. Friday, the 11th of March, 2022. This one's gonna make some of you chuckle. But I finished work before 7:30 p.m. every day this week. Go me. If I tell you why this is something that I had to write down. So when I first started working, right, this is like a story that we're gonna have to go back into. But when I first started working, I also started therapy at the same time. Now, the reason why I did that is because I had always kind of told myself that as soon as I get enough consistent income coming in, i.e. a salary paying job, I would like to go to therapy, just because I think it's a good thing to do. The time when I had decided I was going to do this, nothing like significant had happened I suppose you could argue significant things always happen, but like generally speaking, nothing big had happened that I kind of like triggered and needed therapy, but I just wanted to always have that at the forefront of my mind. Then in January of 2021, my grandpa passed, may his soul rest in peace, and that really, really affected me. And I started work a month later. I started work in February. So obviously I told, you know, people at work about what was going on, because I had to go back to Ghana as well and all this kind of stuff. And I had to go back to Ghana like the first week of my seat, and there was a lot of stuff, right? So I had to sort all of that out. But I also decided, you know what, if there's ever a time to start therapy, now is the time, because you need to process this grief properly so that it doesn't impact you at work. Like, that's how I was kind of thinking, right? So I signed up for therapy. And obviously told them like the kind of things I wanted to work on. One of them being like managing stress at work, because I was thinking about this whole like me being able to deal with grief and not letting it impact a very demanding job, right? And we just kind of worked through things through therapy. So over the course of that year, and one of the goals that my therapist actually set me was like, you know, don't always feel like you have to stay on late if you're not actually doing anything, because I realized that was one of the things I was doing at work. Yes, when there are things to do, you know, take one for the team, right? You have to be there, you have to work with the team, you have to help each other. That makes sense. But I came to find that there were times where like there was absolutely no reason for me being logged on late, and I was just there logged on late, and it was making me really upset because I could feel it, but I didn't know how to express that. So that was something that I was really happy that I was able to kind of work on. And now I am way better with like managing my capacity and like knowing when I can actually work late, all that kind of stuff. So that has really been great for me. Next one, I've picked a couple, so let's do a couple. Thursday, 21st of July, 2022, I had an amazing end of seat review. that is so sweet. This was my PE seat, right? So my third seat. And this is just like a quick, again, story about my reviews generally. So anytime I'm about to go into a review, whether it's mid-seat or whether it's end of seat, I always just get this like rushing feeling that someone's gonna say something awful. Now, in a review, you're always gonna get some kind of constructive criticism because, I mean, that's how you foster a growth mindset. That's how people improve and get better. Even if you're excellent, it's still beneficial for you to get some kind of feedback, right? So you're always gonna get something. But I'm talking like, I don't know, I just always felt like my supervisor was gonna turn around and be like, yeah, we're gonna fire you from this training contract, I hope you know. And that did not stem from anything that I had done, nor did it stem from anything that anyone in that workplace told me. I want you to know this, like this just stemmed from years of imposter syndrome, if I'm being honest, like just things that had happened in my life previously prior to starting this training contract just always made me believe that I would never be good enough to do something like this. So I was just really happy with how glowing this review was, because all my reviews have been like decent. I've never had a terrible review, but this one was particularly glowing. Do you get what I mean? So I just really felt like, wow, that affirmed me, and it helped me even just recently when I had my project finance mid-seat review, and I still had that feeling of like, oh, your supervisor's gonna tell you you're not good enough. I kind of went back and I was like, okay, but remember how good your end of seat review was for PE. Like, this is the level of quality that you actually have. You are good at this kind of thing. You're not gonna have a terrible review. So that was really nice for me. Next one, Sunday, 24th April 2022. I was on time for pole class, go you. Anybody who knows me knows that time is something that I struggle with, which is so funny because I'm so good at managing my time. But when I say I struggle with time, I mean like getting to events on time. That's just always been something I've struggled with. And it's usually because 9 times out of 10, I try to take a nap before the event, and then like I nap too long and it just doesn't work. But you know, I've been working on getting better with my time. So I've been doing really good this year and I'm really proud of me. Wednesday, 20th July 2022, I presented on ESG and PE and everyone loved it. I remember this day. This was such a funny day. So in some seats, not in every seat, but in some seats, you as a trainee have to present to the team, right? All the partners, all the associates, etc., etc. So on this particular day, I chose to present on the role of ESG in PE and how it can be used and stuff like that. And like after that, so before this, I'd obviously spoke to everyone that I worked with. PE's a fairly big team, by the way. So unless you're someone who just talks to everyone, you're just not going to speak to everyone, right? So everyone that I worked with, I had pretty good working relationships with. Outside of that, I hadn't really interacted with that many people because I just hadn't really done that. After this presentation, I was talking to everybody. I was going on coffees, like all sorts of stuff. And I was just like, wow, you're good at this. Like that was just, I don't know, that was just really nice for me because sometimes I need that positive affirmation. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't always need to be petted and praised, but every now and again when I do something and people respond to it in that kind of way, I'm like, you go, Steph. So that made me happy. I'm just gonna do a couple more because there's still like, look at how much of the jar is left and I've done so many. So I'm not gonna do all of them, but I would just encourage you to do this for yourself next year because this is such a lovely experience. Like this is amazing. Okay, next one. Tuesday, 22nd February 2022. I figured out what was worrying me about PE. I was worried it will make me fall back into toxic working habits. Yes, let's talk about this. I don't know if this is something that I've spoken about on my channel yet or not, so I'm gonna be very blunt and transparent, right? Corporate typically has a reputation for being a very fast-paced environment, very high-pressured. You're consistently working on a lot of deals at a go. It's just typically, you know, quite difficult. And that's not to say that other teams in the law are easy, because I don't think anything is easy, quote unquote, but that is just typically what type of environment you are expecting when you're going into a corporate field. So I kind of had those, I guess, preconceived notions when it came to me going into PE, right? And like I mentioned earlier, when I first started therapy, one of the things I wanted to work on was building better work habits, i.e., you know, not just staying late and then kind of getting upset about it when I didn't need to and stuff like that. So for me, because of what I had been told about what PE was like and how I know I default to as a person in terms of I really just take on work and like just keep going, that's just how I am. I didn't want to put myself in an environment that would make me, and this is not to say I don't hold myself accountable, obviously I am in charge of my actions, but I didn't want to go into an environment that would just make me revert back to my old self, because I really did feel like I had come to a good point by that time in my kind of, you know, healing journey, where I was getting a lot better at setting boundaries and stuff like that. And I just worried that being in that kind of fast-paced environment would just make me revert back. So that was something that really worried me. And I was just really proud of myself for being able to identify that that was what the worry was, because for a long time, when I found out that I was going into PE, I just felt very uneasy. And it was odd because I'm the one who put PE down as my first choice, right? I wanted to go into PE because I wanted to do that kind of work. I wanted to do that kind of training. But when I found out I was actually getting it, I just felt very nervous. Like whenever people would ask me about it, I would just be like, yeah, I'm going to PE. Like I didn't have anything to say about it because I didn't feel good. So when I was able to articulate that, actually, Steph, the reason why you don't feel good is because you are worried that you are going to revert back to old habits. So now that you know what's wrong, we can work on fixing it. So I took that to therapy. I was just kind of like, look, what can we do to make sure that I maintain this growth that I have made? I keep on progressing, blah, blah, blah. And I put some stuff in place, and PE was actually a good seat for me. Do you get what I mean? So that was a really good day for me because it was kind of like a breakthrough in my journey, my healing journey. And that was really cute. Okay, next one. Monday, 24th January 2022. Oh, this day was so nice. Completed a first draft of an OC offering circular today for the first time ever. Go you. An offering circular is like a 500-page document. I know I've spoken about this before on my channel, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but like this was the first massive piece of drafting that I was tasked with in my second seat. I was super happy to be given this level of responsibility. I found it super interesting and it really developed me as a person. Before I did this task, the partner who gave me the task sat down with me for like 2 hours and we did what we call a page turning exercise. So we literally turned every page of an old OC, like on a different deal, and went through, this is what this part of the OC means. This is what you would likely be changing in your OC, blah, 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 blah. And that was one of the most helpful exercises I have ever done in my life. Like that really made me realize that I actually enjoy what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously I like the law, otherwise I wouldn't have applied to do a training contract. But that particular task, I was like, commercial law is this, I like this thing. I like it. This is good. So that was a good day for me. I really, really enjoyed that day. I'm gonna do like 5 more and then I'm gonna wrap it there. Okay. Tuesday, the 30th of August, 2022. Oh, I made my first 2 sales of my digital course. Yes, this was so sweet. So with this, I had been really like umming and ahhing because I actually made this course way back in like May or March or something like that. But I'd really been umming and ahhing about putting it out to the world because I just kind of thought, you know, are people going to think I'm worthy to be teaching a course? Am I going to be good enough? Imposter syndrome strikes again, whatever. So I was really umming and ahhing, and then I eventually just put it out because I was like, do you know what? People actually keep DMing me, asking me about questions, which I have already put together into a course. So let me just put out this course. And people actually responded really well to it. So that really made me happy. So that was good. Next one, we've got, Thursday, 1st September 2022, my Success with Steph LinkedIn page reached 100 followers. This was so sweet because I started my LinkedIn page this year, and the main reason why I started it, and I'm going to continue with this in 2023, was to just work a lot more on the career development side of things. So I really wanted to kind of separate what my content was like and like have it a bit more distinguished. So on LinkedIn, I'm going to be focusing a lot on how you can develop as a professional, right? And I just like that people resonated with that and followed me. Like that was just really cute, and people have been really interacting with the posts and stuff like that. So again, it just seems like something that people want and need. So that has really affirmed that for me. 3 left, so let's see. Okay, yeah, I picked up 3. So we've got, I don't think I can read this one. This one is confidential, so just know that this was an amazing thing and I'm very, very happy that it happened. And when I can tell you, I promise I will. I'll pick a different one to replace it. Monday, 20th June, 2022. Me and Paula arranged a link up after God knows how many years. Oh my gosh. Paula's one of my friends from secondary school, right? And I don't think I even like talk about my age on here, but like I'm not that old, but I'm also not that young. I was in secondary school like 10 years ago. So I have not seen her since then. And like, we follow each other on social media and stuff. She's doing amazing things. She's an amazing photographer. So if you're looking for one, please do hire her because she's actually really good. She's also a pharmacist. Like, she's just great. But it was just really nice that we just caught up. We just went to Nando's. We just had a chat about life. Like, it was just so sweet. And one of the things I wanted to do, so this was one of my family goals, to be more intentional about like my family time. But to be honest, also with my friends, I just wanted to be more intentional about catching up with them as well. So it was just really nice to catch up with a really good old friend. Second to last one, Friday, 25th March. This one was super sweet. My supervisor told me, and this is a little quote, "Been receiving some really positive feedback on you from members of the team, which is great to hear. Keep it up." That one really made me happy again, because this is from when I was in PE. So like I kind of mentioned in terms of how I felt before I went into PE, and then how it ended up being in terms of like my review being really good and stuff like that. This was just a journey for me. Like, I'm just really happy that, you know, I enjoyed the seat, they enjoyed having me, like all that kind of stuff. That was just a really nice thing to hear, so that was good. And my final one, this is so me, oh my gosh. Okay, Sunday 24th April 2022, you were on time for church. God knows I'm not always on time for church, but I was on time for church and had a great Sunday school lesson on truth. Oh yeah, so back when I was in the UK, I was a Sunday school teacher, taught the teens. And you know, I mean, I really enjoy teaching the young people. It's something I've always been passionate about. So it was just really nice to have a really good Sunday school lesson that they found impactful as well. So doing this today has actually really put a massive smile on my face. This has made me super happy. And like, I would just always encourage you to not only celebrate every little win as and when it happens, but also keep a little record of it, so that when you're feeling a bit down, I wasn't feeling down today, but like this has clearly improved my mood. So when you're feeling down, you can go back to something like this. It doesn't always have to be in a physical format. You don't have to get this jar if you don't want to. But when you are feeling down, you can come back to things like this that will put a smile on your face, because this has honestly been amazing for me. If you like this type of content, please do make sure that you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll be back again soon with another video.